Good evening everyone and welcome to Gundam News. And we have a lot of new things to talk about, so let's immediately get started with the updates of the G-Witch Gunpla. All of which are now available on Hublink Japan, linked down below. So, last week we got a lot of new announcements, and yesterday we got a lot of new updates for those announcements. And what I find funny is that for a lot of them, we got a full accessory list, but then for the Lubrith and the Begwir, which are releasing in like 2 weeks, we haven't actually gotten a concrete list yet. We've seen a lot of their accessories, but not exactly what we're getting. So for example, for the Lubrith, we could see that there's also going to be a beam effect part for the gun, but there could still be more accessories that aren't shown. One main one, of course, being the beam saber blade effect parts. Then for the Aerial, we also get to see some more effect parts. There is a blue effect part for the beam rifle, and the beam sabers it uses use the less commonly seen blue beam saber blades, and this shade of blue in particular is, I think, the first time we see it. Moving on to those new announcements then, we first had the high-grade Delanza Gyul Custom, a very chunky boy with a pretty unique rear. But despite being very bulky, it seems that it is still going to be very well articulated, so that is definitely something to look forward to. As for the weapons, it comes with a big beam partisan, which is a first for a Gundam as far as I can remember, a beam torch, which seems to function as a beam saber and can also be stored in the shoulder armor, and then a small beam rifle that comes with a removable magazine. A feature that is criminally underrepresented in high grades, and even some master grades like the Hazels don't have removable magazines, so it's a small thing, but I really appreciate it. And this thing can then also be stored onto the shoulder armor. And then finally, they also list that the backpack is removable, something that doesn't seem to serve any purpose at the moment, other than maybe swapping it out with the backpacks of the equally nice looking mass production version / character A custom machine. On the left is the mass production version, which seems to always come with the quote unquote commander antenna, kinda like the Goof and the Marasai, and on the right is the character A custom unit. The mass production version uses a single shoulder shield that can be used to house the beam torch, and it also has the same beam machine gun as the Gyul custom. The character A custom then has a bigger antenna on the head, an extra blade antenna on the backpack, it uses a giant axe, and has 2 shoulder shields that can store the beam torch and the beam machine gun. Which, by the way, is also why I think that the mass production version can also store the beam machine gun in that single shoulder shield. And the last special feature then that they list here is that the back skirt is also movable for better articulation. A feature that isn't listed on the Gyul custom, but I'm pretty sure it should also work on that machine. So again, these clunky machines seem to be offering a lot for their 1,760 yen, 13 US. And talking about offering a lot, there is the Demi Trainer and its expansion set. First of all, a quick correction on the price of the Demi Trainer. The article that I originally got it from listed it as 1,760 yen, but in the new article, the price is listed as a much more reasonable 1,320 yen. And considering the design of the machine and the accessories that it comes with, that definitely seems to be much more realistic. And they also confirmed that this machine is, in fact, most likely a training machine, because they say that it is the machine that is used throughout the school. This then also explains the lighter weapons layout. It's got a very basic shield, a submachine gun, and a literal stick.
When I joined the Corps, we didn't have any fancy schmancy tanks. We had sticks, 2 sticks and a rock for a whole platoon, and we had to share the rock. Buck up, boy. You're one very lucky Marine.
The stick can then be attached to the hip for storage, and it also comes with a very simple antenna. But rather than being described as a commander antenna, the head without the antenna is described as the normal version, and then the one with antenna is described as the during deployment version. And to give our demi-trainer some more oomph, you can also get the expansion set. And I also have to make a correction here, this time because of a mistake that I made. The set allows you to combine a bunch of parts to make your own unique gun, and I thought it was only going to come with one handle, but it actually comes with two. So I'm very happy that I was mistaken about that. And another cool thing that they showed is that you can also attach the Gatling gun piece to the arm, which then means that you should also be able to attach the circular saw and the pile bunker to the arm as well. That can make for some really interesting customs, so I really look forward to seeing what people are going to do with the demi-trainer. For the demi-trainer character B custom then, we didn't get to see anything new per se, but we did get to see some more images showing us the entire model, including the very nice backpack, and we also got to see that the thrusters on the thighs can move. With the Feroct then, we again got a little bit of backstory. It'll be piloted by Elon Keleth, spelled as Eran Keresu, who is the head of the Pale Dorm. And the more I see the Feroct, the more I fall in love with it. The very distinct feet can indeed transform, which I guess will come into play somehow, like, they look right now as they're just going to be used as some kind of spike to attack an enemy mobile suit, but who knows what they're going to be used for. Then we have the shoulder thrusters that can pop out to provide extra backwards movement, something that very much reminds me of the full Burnians, like chest thrusters to go backwards. And the beam sabers are stored in the lower arms, and they have an opening gimmick that looks really cool, and this time reminds me of the flag. And finally, we of course get that sweet rifle, 2 green beam saber blades, and an open left hand. And then the final full-sized mech is the Daryl Barday, a machine that comes with quite a lot of accessories. It's got a large beam javelin and beam saber that can either be used individually or they can be combined into a single weapon. The lower arms themselves can be transformed into beam sabers with purple beams, which I think is definitely a first, and a clear action base is included. There's an open left hand, and then we also get 2 more pairs of items that aren't mentioned or shown in action. There's a pair of wires, which usually indicates that there's going to be some kind of remote weapon, or maybe it's like a wire, like I'm thinking Tekkaman Blade here, like maybe it's a wire to somehow like after he throws the javelin, he gets it back, like a grappling wire to get that back. And then there's also 2 whatevers that I don't know what they're going to be used for. They could be for the beam saber arms, but the shape looks slightly different. Then there is the SD Gundam X Standard Gundam Ariel, which will come with a beam rifle that can be stored on the backpack, a shield which can be separated and attached to the shoulders, and a single beam saber. And then last but definitely not least, we have the figurized standard figures of Suletta Mercury and Miorine Rembrandt. And what really piqued my interest with Suletta is her Holo. This basically confirms that we'll get a Holo in the series, or well, multiple Holos probably, and she also comes with extra hands to hold onto the Holo. And based on those images, I think those hands are going to be using like the standard sized Gunpla peg, meaning that you can attach that Holo to an action base to have it like floating about or like in a jumping pose, and that those hands can also hold on to a lot of other things. The other accessories included then are regular open hands, closed hands and holding hands, a stand, 2 ways to display the Holo, and 3 faces. The one on the left is pre-printed, And then for the two on the right, you have to apply the water slides yourself, meaning you can decide which eyes to use and which expressions he has. And many of these features carry over to Miorine. She also comes with a stand, 3 pairs of hands, and 3 faces. The one on the left being pre-printed, and the 2 on the right requiring the waterslide decals. And then she also comes with her own unique accessories. A shovel and watering can that are probably going to play some role in the anime. I'm assuming it's going to have something to do with like her character development or something. And then she also comes with the very cultured option of not having shoes on. So yeah, we had to wait a long time for it, but we finally have another large amount of Gunpla to look forward to, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Now just throw on some non-P Bandai high-grade Universal Centuries, and it would be perfect. And sticking with the Gunpla, the Gundam base will be celebrating its 5th anniversary on Saturday, and for the occasion they'll be selling the Master Grade Gundam Base Limited Unicorn Gundam Crystal of Light version for 7,700 yen, around 60 US. Not only will this replicate the crystals as seen in the anime, but the armor also looks like it has a special glossy finish to it. And if you want to paint any of these kits in some really fancy colors, in November we'll be getting the Gundam Marker X Moonlight Butterfly Holo Silver, Transam Holo Red, and MEPE Holo Yellow. And because I forgot to write the price down, it'll be on screen. Our second headline then is that if you ever wanted to see what the Gundam 00 stage production was all about, now's your chance, because from July the 16th until July the 31st, the 1-hour-long first act of the first play and the first 10 minutes of the second play are available for free on YouTube and are linked down below. There's just one catch though. They're region locked, which shouldn't be a problem for you if you're using NordVPN. Not only will it allow you to avoid those pesky region locks, but it also gives you extra protection while browsing online, as well as other neat features. And if you use the link down below or the code kkrt, not only will you be getting a great discount, but you'll also be supporting the channel. And you know what? I was actually positively surprised by what the stage show had to offer, especially the over-the-top acting of Patrick and Graham. I started watching for a laugh, but I actually kept watching because I was genuinely entertained by the whole thing. And another video you can watch thanks to NordVPN is an interview with Yoshiyuki Tomino himself in commemoration of the 4th and 5th Reconquista in G movie. Then from the figure front, Mobility Joint Gundam Vol.3 was announced yesterday and also immediately had its pre-orders opened at general retailers. Link down below. For 715 yen a pop, around 5 US, you can either get the Unicorn Gundam Sinanju regular Rizel and Rizel General Revel version, and there's also an option set for each, resulting in 8 different sets. The Unicorn can be turned into the full armor Unicorn. The Sinanju set comes with extra weapons for both itself and the Unicorn to really get the full armor Unicorn. The Rizel can be turned into the Commander Machine, and the General Revel Rizel can be turned into the Defensor B unit. And on Friday, reservations for the Metal Robot Damashi Kimaris Vidar started. And then there was some bad news for the first Metaverse-esque event that Bandai held. The Gundam Next Future Link the Universe event, where all 4 life-sized Gundam statues were going to have a synchronized performance that was to be broadcast online. It all went well on the first day, but the second day unfortunately had to be cancelled due to bad weather. Also, in my case, I just couldn't connect no matter what I tried. The button just didn't become active on my browser, so I had to resort to other means to access Prologue. And talking about Prologue, it will be shown today at the San Diego Comic-Con. In the gaming news then, on Friday, the Pale Rider and Chloe Croce from Missing Link were unleashed on UC Engage, and for Engage Day, which is the 15th of each month, they released the Engage Hama, a variation of the Hama Hama with overhauled armor, a different head, and extra thrusters on the legs. And yesterday, the Code Fairy Experience Quest went live, alongside an event gacha featuring the ultra rare Titania and the ultra rare Alma Sterner. And a new mission battle and collaboration quest drop rate up campaign were also implemented. And also on Friday, SD Gundam Battle Alliance had a bunch of things happening as well, like the introduction of a bunch of new machines and their pilots that will be appearing in the game. The Dom, Char Saga Custom and Char, the Kyublai and Haman, the O and Shirako, the Unicorn Full Armor, the Banshee Norn and Riddy, the Crossbone X1 and Now, the God Gundam and Domon, the Master Gundam and Master Asia, the Turn X and Ginganam, the G-Self Perfect Pack and Bellry, the Providence Gundam and Rao, the Legend Gundam and Ray, the Infinite Justice and Atheron, the Double O Quanta and Setsuna, the Reborn's Gundam and Ribbons, the Barbs Loops Rex, the Gushenful City and Akihiko, and finally the Reagan Lace Julia and Julieta. Then they also went over some of the gameplay aspects, but most of it were things that we were already familiar with, like you can get wingmen, there's customization, the break missions versus the true missions, but they also unveiled that there will be pilot skills and that the 3 types of mobile suits will also have a class-specific special action, or as they're calling it, a role special action. The Infighter class will be knocked back less by enemy attacks, the All Ranger class will have a longer attack cancel time, and the Shooter class will instantly replenish their ammo. And then finally, the intro movie was officially unveiled to the world, also linked down below, and the end shows off some very interesting looking enemy designs. And today then, the Jesta joined the fight in Gundam Battle Operation 2. In other news then, we got the Gaplant TR5 Hrairoo Ra 2 full armor version from the Advance of Zeta reboot, which is touted as the strongest machines that the Titans possessed. And this week was the last week that moviegoers for Cucuruz Doan's Island could get a free gift, one of 2 sets of 3 storyboard images. As for the things you could get this week then, on the 14th there was the Mobile Suit Gundam Best Song album featuring 24 of the best Gundam songs for 2,200 yen, 15 US, with some of the included highlights being Just Communication, Akatsuki no Kuruma, Daybreak's Bell, and Eternal Wind. On the 15th, you could get some Gunpla paint from Mr. Hobby for 253 yen a pop, 2 US. There was Izak Custom Sky Blue, Luna Maria Custom Pink, and Ray Custom Purple. One day later then, from the Gundam base, came the Neon Blue Ecopla Master Grade Barbs for 5,280 yen, 40 US, and the clear Real Grade Ailstrike Gundam and Skygrasper with Launcher and Sword Striker packs for 5,500 yen, around 40 US. And on the same day, at Gundam Side F, the Dummy Balloon Rigazi A New Gundam went on sale for 2,200 yen a pop, 15 US, and the high-grade Jagan Axis Shock Image Color went on sale for 1,650 yen, 13 US. And then finally, on the 18th, we got the second G-Frame Full Armor lineup. For 649 yen each, around 4 or 5 US, there was the Justice Gundam Rig Diaz Quattro Vegeta colors, Rig Diaz regular colors, and Sazabi. Each of course available as an armor set with the base machine, and a frame set that comes with both a movable frame and also some extra accessories. And of course, soda flavored piece of chewing gum included. Moving on to this week's reading material then, there wasn't a lot, but sometimes quality over quantity is important. And boy, we got the announcement of a new Gundam manga with the teaser image being the Gundam being crucified. not an image I ever expected to see. And the title is also interesting. Rather than being Mobile Suit Gundam, it is Despair Memory Gundam. Like, is this gonna be a side story for Danganronpa or something? So this makes the full title Despair Memory Gundam Sequel. Also, despite being called sequel, I couldn't find any manga that this would be the sequel to, so it is just the title. And the story is also pretty out there. The manga takes place 20 years after the end of the Great War and is set in the imperial city of Gundorado. Originally, the Gundam was revered as a guardian spirit because it had ended the war, but by now, it is instead regarded as an enemy of the peace. Our story begins with Cucuruz, a middle-aged woman who is executed, impaled, and then ritually set on fire. The manga will start serialization on the 29th at Comipre. And yesterday we got the August issue of DVD and video distribution data, which has a special on Reconquista NG's 4th movie. And today we're wrapping up with some Gundam apparel. On Friday, we first got a new Cucuruz Doan's Island collection from Bankore, with the main inspiration being the design style that you often see on college items. So you can get a college-style t-shirt for 3,520 yen, 25 US, a polo shirt for 4,950 yen, 35.40 US, a face towel for 2,200 yen, 15 US, a mug for also 2,200 yen, 15 US, and a keychain for 660 yen, 4 to 5 US. And all of these items are slated for a September release. On the same day then, Strict G released their collaboration with Outdoor Style. The collection is styled after Jawbro, and since it's labeled as the first collection, it sounds like we can expect more Jawbro themed collections in the future. I approve. For now, 5,280 yen, 40 US about, will get you a t-shirt in either white, navy, khaki, or sand brown. 6,380 yen, around 45 US, gets you a pocket t-shirt in either white, navy, or khaki. 13,200 yen, 100 US, gets you a nice set consisting of a khaki shirt, pants, and satchel. Then for 9,790 yen, 80 US, you can get a nice beige utility vest, a navy open collar shirt, or navy half cargo pants. And finally, there's navy regular cargo pants for 12,980 yen, a little under 100 US. And then we move to Tuesday, where we get a lot of Cospa things from Cucuruz Doan's Island that will go on pre-sale at OneFest. There's a bunch of t-shirts for 3,190 yen each, 20-25 US, and the available designs are a black or moss green Zaku head, Doan's personal emblem in ivy green or sand khaki, and a quote shirt in light gray. Then there's the Doan's custom functional tote bag in either black or ranger green for 8,800 yen, 65 US, and finally there is a Doan's custom Zaku carabiner for 1,210 yen, around 8 US. And these items will also be hitting regular stores in September. And then yesterday, sales began for the Gundam World Contrast in Okinawa items, which includes 4 types of t-shirt that are limited to the event, available in both black and white. A Vapor Wavy RX-78-2 or Strike version, or one with the full mechs, but with a very psychedelic color scheme. And in addition to those, they're also selling a bunch of other stuff, but it is so much. I'll just have the page linked down below if you want to check it out for yourself. Unfortunately though, in order to get them, Yahoo Auctions or a third party who's going to the event itself is probably going to be your best friend in order to get them. And that has been all for this week's Gundam news. As always, a big thank you to the Patreon supporters. I hope everyone watching has a great evening, and I'll see you all next week with more Gundam news.